We live in a world that is relentlessly complex. It's just a continuous, overlapping system of noise. But honestly, there is a profound optimism in the fact that we can actually find order within it. Mathematics isn't just some collection of rigid rules you memorize in school. It's a mirror held up to reality. It's the ultimate tool for distilling the completely incomprehensible into structures we can actually use. Picture a quiet, brightly lit hospital room. Right in the center sits an MRI scanner. It's an absolute marvel of modern medicine, sure, but fundamentally it operates on a deeply mathematical premise. It pulses radio frequencies, interacting directly with the unseen layers of the human body. Think about what's actually happening at the microscopic level here. The machine excites specific hydrogen atoms, and it captures their energy in different directions. It's literally a puzzle of invisible values. We might know, for example, that the sum of the top two targets equals 3, and the bottom two equals 7. We are solving for the unknown densities of human tissue using nothing more than simple arithmetic sums mapped right along intersecting lines. So how exactly do simple equations compute actual tissue densities and let us look inside the human body? Well, the answer lies entirely in how we organize the information. By arranging these overlapping sums into a structured mathematical system, the unseen variables just reveal themselves. Physical reality literally becomes a solvable grid. And this power builds incredibly quickly at scale. If we widen the frame and step back to the spring of 2011, we hit a moment when our digital world rapidly accelerated. We were suddenly hit with this unprecedented volume of information, bursting from genomes, digital encyclopedias, weather stations, and financial markets. It was a chaotic influx of raw data that frankly threatened to overwhelm us. So, how do we handle that? We manage this beautiful chaos by giving it shape. If you have a finite list of things, say a sequence of DNA or a string of stock prices, that's a vector. Now stack those lists together like a giant spreadsheet, and you've created a matrix. This right here is the universal language of data. Any complex object, from a massive movie file to a symphony, can be neatly encoded into this elegant mathematical form. To really ground this, let's look at weather data for Boston in early 2010. This abstract concept of a matrix maps perfectly onto a recognizable physical reality. You've got rows of time and columns for temperature, precipitation, and wind. Suddenly, a block of numbers tells a very real story. We can track the transition from winter cold right into spring warmth, or spot that unusually rainy March that caused all that flooding. The matrix actually holds the physical environment. But these lists don't just sit there storing static records of the past. They possess this incredibly dynamic quality. They are essentially maps that encode relationships, movements, and intricate networks, allowing us to project reality forward. Consider a physical network, like a regional airline. They fly from New York to Los Angeles, then Los Angeles back to Boston. You've got bidirectional flights running between Boston and New York. It's a constant, dynamic flow of aircraft moving all across the country. Now that exact physical flight path translates flawlessly into a precise 3x3 matrix. You put a 1 where a flight connects two cities and a 0 where it doesn't. And here is where it gets wild. By simply taking this matrix and multiplying it by itself, calculating it to a power of 100, we unlock immense predictive power. In this specific network, doing that calculation reveals there are over 670 billion valid round trips of length 100 starting from Boston. The math perfectly maps the entire realm of possibility. Of course, the real world is messy, right? Data rarely lines up perfectly. But mathematical data fitting is an inherently optimistic pursuit. It isn't about ignoring complexity. It's about distilling the noise to find that true underlying signal hidden within imperfect measurements. We actually have a choice in how we find that signal. On one hand, you could have a flat, linear plane slicing neatly through a cloud of data points. On the other, you could draw a complex, wavy surface bending drastically just to hit every single individual point. Through linear regression, we often seek the simplest, flat surface. We find the most reliable, broad trend without needing to write out impossibly complex polynomial equations that overreact to every tiny error in the data. Because usually, simplicity reveals the strongest truth. Yet, if we're being honest, we have to talk about the friction in this process. A mathematical model is only ever as good as the physical reality it maps. If the underlying data is profoundly flawed, no amount of elegant linear algebra is going to save it. There are honest failure modes here. In linear algebra, this breakdown manifests as something called a kernel. It happens when you apply the wrong model or you just lack varied data. Imagine trying to find the unique slope of a line, but all your data points fall perfectly on a single vertical axis. The equations simply break down. It's a mathematical dead end, and it's basically the math signaling to us that our view of reality is just too limited.
Then there's the friction introduced by just plain human behavior. Think about the blank spaces you often see in survey data. Person 4 here clearly didn't take the form seriously. These missing variables represent the messy, uncooperative nature of reality. You absolutely cannot force a perfect mathematical fit when the collection itself is compromised. So we either filter out the noise or we completely change our approach.
And we really have to apply these tools with flawless logic, especially when we're dealing with chance. Consider a classic failure mode. Let's say the chance of an earthquake is 1 in 1,000, and its tsunami is also 1 in 1,000. A flawed model might multiply these together and falsely conclude that a simultaneous event is a 1 in a million probability. That completely fails because it uses the Bayes rule fallacy of assuming the events are independent. In physical reality, earthquakes cause tsunamis. Math cannot correct our bad assumptions. It literally only amplifies them. But when applied correctly, the practical signal here is undeniably powerful. Mathematics, at its absolute core, is about algebras and operators taking chaotic, overwhelming streams of data and reducing them down into actionable, predictable truth. It gives us a solid framework to anticipate what comes next. Linear algebra combined with probability provides us with two incredibly powerful anchors to help us navigate this reality. First, you have the expectation, which is the most likely value, kind of the center of gravity for our data. Second, there is the standard deviation, which quantifies the noise, telling us exactly how far reality is likely to drift. Together, they provide an incredibly reliable compass for predicting the future. This entire journey from chaos to order ultimately leads to a profound simplicity. When we visualize a probability distribution, we are literally seeing the exact shape of randomness. We are mapping the likelihood of every possible outcome, effectively taming the unknown into visual certainty. It leaves us with this quietly empowering thought. Any complex, continuous reality can be built from the ground up. By starting with nothing more than a uniform random number between 0 and 1, a simple generator of pure chance, we can construct the most elaborate models of the physical world. Order springs from a single point of controlled randomness. So it really makes you wonder, if pure chance can build the mathematical universe, what exactly limits our ability to map the real one? Please note, this explainer is drawn from Linear Algebra with Probability by Oliver Knill. Informational only, not advice. If you have enjoyed the journey, please share, like, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.